No, we are now.
Do we have no intro this week?
I don't know what happened to the intro video, but Mike's
No. Oh,
wait, we are live, Matt. Just so you know, we're live. We're
live. We're live. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere.
Oh boy. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Brunch Box. I'm your host, Matt. I'm here with. Hey, you know who you are. Introduce yourself, man. Hold on. I just tore my AC.
You're here with the one, the greatest. Michael, how's it going, everybody? Looks like Matt's choking up.
You just heard the voice. The first voice you heard was Matt, formerly known as MVO, the host of Brunch Boxing, the primary writer on the site, the man that brings the news.
Yo, fuck that. I think I just tore my ACL.
Oh shit! Are you good?
What happened? What's wrong with you?
Yo, I just slipped. I didn't hear me fall. You didn't hear that?
No, did you really?
Holy shit!
Did the building shake?
Yo, do we got to postpone the show here, Matt?
No, I'm good. Hold on.
This is Matt's flu game right here. He's stepping it up.
Oh, y'all didn't hear me, y'all. Oh,
I
heard you, but it was literally.
I did, but
live.
Yeah, it sounded like you had got breaking news. It didn't sound like you were breaking your fall. You
know? No. That was my feet slipping from under me, and I just hit the floor. Hey, guys.
See, but here we go. But Matt, this is why you need to be on video at all times.
I'm on video right now.
Video of you falling, like that's going viral.
Oh,
that would have brought us to 2,000 followers today.
Woo. Okay. Hey, listen, man. This is live.
100%.
We're doing it live.
Did you fall live in your place, or like did you fall somewhere else?
I fell in my place.
Oh, okay.
I stepped on the carpet and my feet slipped from under me.
Let me tell you something.
And here's the worst part. I was carrying a whole bottle of water. The cap came off, so now my knees are wet too.
Come on.
Oh man.
Your neighbor up top, your neighbor below is looking up right now, like, what the hell was that? I'll tell you that right now.
No, I'll tell you this right now. This is exactly what I get for making fun of Keith Thurman falling off the stage when he fell off the stage.
That's still not
with the fedora.
Yeah, that's not enough. And when he fell off the stage, completely disappeared. Like, fell off the stage and completely disappeared, and no one talks about it.
Yeah, that was me just now. And I'll have to mop this floor up. Hey, but listen, the show must go on. It is fight day. Sebastian Fedora versus Keith Thurman. Some people call him Once Upon a Time. He calls himself One Time. Some people are thinking
it's been
tonight is the last time that we will be seeing Keith Thurman in a big spot. So I wanted to talk to you guys about it. Ezra, when this fight was announced, your juices, I would say, wasn't flowing the way mine were. And you kind of was like, we don't need this. Thurman has no chance. Now that we've gotten to fight week, now that we've seen Keith Thurman with Sebastian Fedora up close, has your opinion on tonight's fight changed at all?
You know, my opinion maybe from boxing as a whole has changed from the point when it was announced where we're at now. I wouldn't say he doesn't have a chance. Like that, of course he has a chance, right? Like Keith Thurman is still gonna be a sharp puncher early in this fight. He's still gonna have his time. He's still gonna have somewhat of his timing. And we know that Fedora, if you got on the inside, just because he's so big and long and
come on, man.
Hey, we talking boxing here,
man.
But, hey, I need to be able to talk boxing in here. You know what I mean? But because he's so big and long, he's not going to have the reflexes to get out of certain spots or to react enough to get his guard up when in certain exchanges. So there will be opportunities there. Like I think Fedora will get touched here. I just don't think that Keith Thurman has what it takes to pull it off. We did what type of fight this was. The type of fight I had this was 80-20.
Yeah. About that, you had an 80-20. All right. You got people thinking that Brunch Boxing has an 80-20. I don't appreciate that.
When you post the official pound for pound of Brunch Boxing,
that is the official pound for pound of Brunch Boxing.
Huh?
That is the official pound for pound of Brunch Boxing.
But Huey, do you have a say in that pound for pound?
The panel is a panel of one.
Exactly, it's a panel of one. So when you post that, people think that I have taken number 3 when you post.
That is why whenever Matt posts his brunch boxing, the brunch boxing pound for pound list, I will usually within a few days post my new pound for pound list.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, here's what I'll tell you to do, mate. This is what I'll tell you to do.
Say mate?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Here's what I'll tell you to do.
I think that fall made Matt Australian.
Name this type fight thing. Put something with your name on it. Ezra.
I have my face on it. It literally has my face on it.
Yeah. No.
It
Put your name on it.
What more can I
put your name on? Put your name on it. Put your name on it. Be a man.
Trust me, Matt. It's such a genius idea. People know who cooked it up. I'll tell you that.
But hey, you know, he's right. By the comments, I was like, oh, they know it's Ezra. They keep saying he's an idiot, you know, and shit like that. So I was like, all right.
You know what that pissed me off is that Matt said, oh, Vegas doesn't even have it that way. Like, I don't give a damn what Vegas has. Do you think that I do my type fight
that matters?
What the Vegas odds are?
But that matters. That matters because that's what the people are saying.
That's what they see it as. That's not what I see it as. That's not what I see it as. Now, if you're looking at Keith Thurman, right?
I thought type. Hold on, real quick. I thought type fight was what type of fight is not what Ezra think it is. Only I thought it was only consensus.
You know, it's always about Ezra, man. You have to stop at that.
Someone has to come up with it. This isn't AI. This ain't AI. This is ME.
All right. Well, give us why you think it's an 80-20 type fight.
Besides Brock Jarvis, when's the last time Keith Thurman got a stoppage?
Many years ago. Yeah.
Versus Luis Collazo.
Okay.
He has never fought at 154 pounds. He fought at 160, and that was against Brock Jarvis. Brock Jarvis is a guy we know that's fought at 140 and has worked his way up because he's kept losing.
Okay.
Against when he fought Barrios, looked sharp early. To me, really slowed down second half of the fight.
That was 10-2 though. What do you mean?
It was because he's because Thurman is very crafty. He's very smart. But I still think he slowed down. That doesn't mean you can
okay. I was okay with that, as long as you know that he's crafty and smart and he's going to do some veteran things.
But that's what I started off with. I said he's going to land punches in this fight. I'm not no doubt about it. But he has not got a stoppage in a while. I don't think that because the way your timing goes.
Then he stopped Jarvis?
Huh? Well, that's what I'm saying. But I already explained that Jarvis came up from lower weight. Are we going to let me explain or are we going to interrupt me at every corner? Well, you know what I mean?
Well, you can't say he hasn't had a stoppage. There's no exemptions.
Let me show you the house, or we could stop and ask me the history of the floor and the ceiling and all that. I just want to show you the house. That's all I'm trying to do. Just let me show you the house here. But what I'm saying is he's going up to a weight. He's fighting a guy in his absolute prime right now. And I think that Fedora is at the best that I've ever seen him. I mean, if you see Fedora and Tim Tszyu fight, he is letting go shots like a machine gun and at a really good range. He's really figured out his range. He used to smother his work. In the Tszyu fight, he's not smothering anything. He's working at a great range. And because his range is so good, his feet are also set so good that he's also, when he takes a shot, I'm not 100% worried like, oh, he's going to get hurt. I'm more confident that he could absorb shots a little bit more. He's also not as easy to get hit because of the range he's keeping. I think that you're fighting a guy that is past his prime, a guy that's going into a weight he's not proven that. You're a guy that his nickname is one time and he hasn't gotten a stoppage since his Brock Jarvis fight. Besides that, it was Luis Collazo in 2015. He's a guy that's been out the ring for a long time. Besides that fight with Jarvis, if you watch the Jarvis fight, he got touched in that fight a few times with some big shots, but Jarvis was too small to really make it matter. And when I see this fight, I just see a guy that's one of the top 154s in a very good division, and I see a guy that's just, to me, past it, not what he once was, and could be crafty, could be maybe sharp early, but it's going to fall apart pretty soon. And I think that even at his best that he could be right now, I think Fedora's better. So I don't see a lot of ways to win. Now, I definitely think he's going to have to bite down on his gum shield. I think that he's going to have to stay inside a little bit more. He's going to have to be willing to exchange a little bit more and rely on some big shots to land early, in my opinion. I think that's what it is. I think that over time, he's not going to be able to outbox him late because the workload will be too much. And his legs don't work as fast as they once were, or twitch as they once were to get in and out. I just don't see it.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
I think
And you
80-20
can't
is a
sweep me
very
off of
fair
your feet.
type
Hey,
fight. Now,
so
one thing I
listen,
will say,
hold on, real quick, Ezra. I will concede that a lot of what you said is right. Keith Thurman is out of his prime. Sebastian Fundora is
did we lose him?
I think we
and of
lost him.
course,
Oh, did he
I get
fall? Oh, no. Okay.
no, I got a phone call. I got a phone call.
Thought
I
Wow,
don't
you
know
went
why
on
my
do
wow.
not
phone.
disturb. I thought you went on do not
Bro,
disturb.
D&D. What's going on here?
I can't be on D&D because we
Oh,
have a
that's right.
guest.
That's right.
Yeah, let's relax. And that was my guest. Hold on. We're gonna table this conversation right now
All right.
because we are going to bring in a special guest. Because this is a big fight night. Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman. And what better way to kick off a great fight night than having a special guest, you know? Uh Let me know when he's in studio, Huey.
I
Yeah, we're
thought he
still
was here
waiting.
already, the way you were talking.
Well, I just got the message. But anyway, yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, my knee is on fire. yo, what is life?
Who's
It's
more
technically
washed?
down. Keith Thurman or Matt?
Yeah.
You were
Is
Matt.
that what you're saying? I don't think Keith Thurman's washed. You know what? I think
All
Ezra.
right.
I think the
All right. Hey,
147.
we got our guest here.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
All right,
So
yeah.
Matt, give the intro.
Listen, this man needs no introduction. Because like my man Cam said, what's that? What's his name again? Oh, my man Kenneth from PBC is here. PBC director Kenneth Bouhairie. What's going on, KB?
I'm good. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh,
Look at that.
yeah. We can hear you loud and clear, KB. Loud and clear.
Look
All
at
right.
the view behind KB.
Uh,
It's really the only thing in Vegas. So
now,
Premium.
KB, this is a big fight day. Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman. Just tell the people, first of all, what's the scene like down there in Vegas right now?
I mean, it's good. It's good. It's been a long fight week. I haven't had a chance to enjoy the view. But the vibe is good. I think the energy's good. It's been a nice pickup. Shout out to Huey. Where is he, by the way?
Yeah, he's in here somewhere.
Your mic's on mute, Huey.
Shout out to my guy Huey. Shout out to the Mexican Al Heyman, Mike.
Mike's here too. He's just not on screen.
Thank you, KB. Thank you, KB.
Yeah, I've enjoyed chatting with them this week. We gotta catch up some more. Matt and Ezra, you guys are missed because it's a good scene. It's a good scene. It's been a good week. Lots of good events, lots of buildup, and it's a good fight because I'm getting so many different opinions on who might win, and I'm wavering back and forth. Like I legit have no clue. I don't know what anything can happen tonight. And so that makes for a fun night.
Now Keith Thurman, he was the Ricky Henderson of PBC. He was the guy that started it all. He's back for what people listen. Let's be honest. What the chatter is, they're saying that this is going to be it for Keith Thurman. Sebastian Fundora is going to do this. Sebastian Fundora is going to do that. What have you seen from Keith in your dealings with him, especially during fight week?
Well, first of all, I thought you called him the Ricky Henderson of PBC because he speaks in third person. I was looking for a couple things. Keith likes to talk. Everybody knows that. And Keith is a great trash talker. And so trying to separate what's just, Keith's natural bravado to whether or not he actually believes, and the vibe I'm getting from him this week, especially, I think, guys who are at the weigh-in or who watched the weigh-in after this week, is a Keith who's more so like, how dare you think this kid is on my level? I'm going to embarrass this kid. You're going to see on Saturday night. So, which gave me pause. But I'll tell you what, and I'm sure you'll touch on Fundora in a bit, but I'm seeing a lot of that same energy from Fundora. Like, how dare this dude, talk the way he's talking to me? I'm going to make an example out of him. I overheard him telling a reporter, I'm going to expose him.
Wow.
Yeah, just flat out. I was like, who is this Fundora? And he was kind of mocking Keith during the weigh-in while Keith was chatting. If you were there and you saw it, he was kind of mocking Keith. So I think Keith is in a good place. The second thing, he looked in great shape at the weigh-in. That's the second thing I was looking at to see like what he looked like, if he was gonna have like that old man sort of body. Not saying that you win fights by looking like an Adonis, but I just wanted to see that. And he looked great. He sounds great. He sounds really, really confident. I've spoken to a couple people, Brian Mendoza and other people in the camp, and by all accounts, he's had a great camp, So, let's see what happens. Fundora, on the other hand, looks like a brick wall. Like if you're near him, if you're close to him, you can feel his strength. Like he's a really strong, he's a wiry dude. And so it's a little deceiving. I remember when Terrence Crawford fought at 140, someone commenting to me that, man, this guy can go up a couple more divisions. Like he doesn't look like he's a big guy, but he's so wiry. He's got that kind of strength, that it'll carry him through a couple more divisions. And that's what Fundora has. So I think Keith is going to bring it. I think Fundora is going to bring it, and I think somebody's going to get hurt.
Where do you see Fundora? It kind of seems like he's came into his own even a little bit more. Like seems like he figured out his style with his body. He's kind of coming to like. Have you seen the same thing that I feel like I'm seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's entering his prime now. And he's evolving and he's improving and he's getting more experience. In the big stage. And I think the biggest difference I see from him is mental. I think he's opening up a lot more. Showing more of his personality, wearing the Gonzo socks at the weigh-in yesterday. And also the confidence. You can see the confidence emanating from him, from his sister, from his father, Freddie. There's real confidence there. So that's the biggest change that I've seen from him. Not to say he wasn't confident before, but he's letting us know about it now.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, from a corporate standpoint, because obviously you guys have to sell the fights and stuff like that. It kind of felt like when the fight was first announced, there wasn't the big fanfare, but it seems like the fight has picked up a lot of steam, especially over the last few weeks, and it feels like it's building to a crescendo tonight. I don't want to, give you all the credit for it, but what have you guys done as a company to let the fans know, hey guys, this is a good fight that you don't want to miss?
By telling them that, by ignoring the noise. This fight has a lot of implications, and it's a great matchup. And I would hope that we've built enough cachet with the fans for them to know that we deliver on our cards pretty consistently. Whether or not you feel it's worth the price tag, I promise you, it's a good night of a boxing. Typically, a great night of boxing, and you can get some food, you can invite some people over, and to me, that's a night well spent. I think that's money well spent. So I think just reminding folks of how big this fight is, how anything can happen, how great the matchup is, the implications at 154, what it means for the future. I saw Jamal Charlo on a flight yesterday, so he's like, I'm coming to see this in person and see what's going on. And so we're excited about it, excited about the fight, excited about the event. So that it shows in what we do always, because we're always constantly trying to think out the box and think about more ways to reach the fans and remind them of what a great fight it is.
Yeah, one of the things that you guys did that I thought what was very cool, you guys brought back Cameron and Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, and you added Sean Zattel to the panel. How would you say like you guys integrate outside sources into a boxing platform has helped grow these fights to big events?
I think it only helps if they care about what they're doing. If you're just got a gun for hire and just trying to bring them in, like, oh, help us. I think that goes awry. But if they care about what they're doing, if they're passionate about the event, if they're passionate about the sport, then I think it's a bit more meaningful and it has more of an impact. So Cam's a big boxing fan. Treasure loves the sport. Treasure loves being around the sport, and she's to be so young, to be so professional, and hanging around with the personalities she hangs around with. Kudos to her and Cam and to Sean Zattel. who has got a lot of great boxing knowledge. Is someone I've been watching and admired and respected over the years. So I like the chemistry. I think, would like to see them grow together to develop. I mean, Matt, you were patient with Ezra's crazy behind.
Trying to reel me in. He's been trying to reel me in for a while.
And now he's a fan favorite. He's gone. Everyone's like, "Where's Ezra?" So, it's one of those things where they have to care about what we're doing and take serious what they're doing as well.
Now, from Sebastian Fundora perspective, it feels like he's been growing into his own personality-wise, not just as a boxer. Have you seen a change in his personality, maybe from a year ago, 2 years ago, to how he's coming into this particular fight?
Absolutely, and absolutely. In fact, he and I were talking about it yesterday. After the weigh-in, he's doing it without. It's not fake. He's doing it while still being himself. And it's the natural progression of any person. We look at our own lives. I'm probably a little older than you cats, but maybe not Matt. But
definitely not Matt. Definitely not Matt.
But you look at yourself as a person, right? You evolve. It's real when you are who you think you are. So you start to recognize that you're that person, and without faking it or losing sight of it. If he went up there and was trying to match, Keith Thurman word for word, then I'd be like, okay, this is not him. But you naturally evolve, and he's showing that personality. You can see it. If you watch his interviews, if you listen to what he's saying, and even when he's being subtle, he's talking his shit, so to speak. He said on the panel the other day, they asked him, like, how does this fight go? He goes, it's not going 12.
It definitely feels like this is the meanest that I've seen him come off of. It's something about his mentality just seems different, just a little bit. He's kind of always kind of more polite, happy to be there type of situation. This, I definitely see a different mentality, and I think you're right about that. I think
it's emanating from him. Like, if you're around him, it's emanating from him. Like I said, you can feel the strength, But on the flip side, you can see that Keith Thurman is dead serious, and he's kind of like, how dare you guys think like this is, I'm the underdog in this fight. Like, I'm Keith Thurman, I have way more skills than this guy. Are you kidding me? I'm way more experienced.
It's funny that you say that, KB, because I feel like when the fight was first announced, Keith Thurman was almost like, joking around, I'm gonna chop down a tree, all this other stuff. But when he arrived at the MGM Grand, he was dead serious. He said, yo, I'm gonna knock this motherfucker out. I never heard Keith Thurman talk like that before. Like, it almost seems like he was almost like playing possum, and now he turned the switch on, and he's going into this fight looking to really upset the apple cart, so to speak.
Yeah, I think he recognizes that this is a great career moment for him. It's a potentially great career moment for him. If he were to come back and score a tremendous knockout, I mean, what a story, that would be. And I think on some level, he feels like, this kid see nothing like me before. Has never fought anyone or anything like me before. And whereas I've been in the ring with the Pacquiaos and the Garcias and the Sean Porters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I've been doing this. I was fighting Demetrius Andrade in the amateurs, and so I think he's ramped it up because as you get closer to camp, and as you get closer to the fight and you get a little more ornery, you start speaking with a little bit more passion. He always speaks with passion anyway, but yeah, I definitely feel that energy from him. And I think, from a fan perspective, people were skeptical, like, well, is he even going to make it to fight night? Can we just get to fight night? But now it's here, and now you're seeing his energy, and it's going to be great.
You brought up a situation that was kind of similar in reverse of the careers. Thurman was facing the older Pacquiao, and Thurman was a guy on top, and Pacquiao was a guy that we kind of thought, okay, Thurman's going to run through a legend, right? And he saw that, oh, this guy still has something in the tank. I wonder, if he thinks that in his head, and he says, hey, I've been in a similar position. I know that what it's like when you think you can run over a legend, and the guy still has something in the tank.
1,000%, 1,000%. Because I definitely thought that. My first thought was like, what a career moment, for him. He was once that young superstar, like you were saying, going up against, the aging legend in Pacquiao, and he was supposed to make a statement, and move on to the Errol Spences and all the other guys. But that didn't happen, and now he's in the same situation, but the roles are reversed, and it reminds me of Foreman versus Moore, where a lot of folks didn't really look at that parallel before the fight, in terms of him, when he was fighting Ali and now fighting Moore. A lot of folks didn't realize the parallels and how it was sort of a full circle moment with the roles reversed. So there was not a lot of chatter about that, but it was obvious that Foreman recognized that because he wore the same trunks that he wore that night. So he understood what that moment meant. And I think Keith Thurman is absolutely thinking that. How can he not? I feel that, on some level, the Pacquiao fight has haunted him. It changed everything for him. And this is his moment to turn everything around.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you guys had your co-feature, Frank Sanchez versus Richard Torres. Obviously, that dropped out. But then you guys replaced it with a 50-50 banger of a fight between two hungry contenders, Yoenis Tellez versus Brian Mendoza. Can you just talk a little bit about that fight? How did that fight come together so quickly? And what kind of action you're expecting from these two tonight?
It came quickly because Brian Mendoza stays in the gym, 24/7. So, it's great to have fighters, like that. And Tellez was willing to accept. Pretty tough matchup, a pretty dangerous matchup, especially coming off his last fight. So, kudos to the matchmakers, to Tom Brown and Louis DeCubas and Al Heyman, for putting that together. Great. I think it's a really great fight, and it's another great fight where I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I just know that it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a little more tactical that people realize, but I think someone's getting hurt in that fight too. Both of them like to blast, Paul. So, I think it's going to get, someone's going to get hurt as well.
Now you got another guy on the card that like to blast. Wendy Hernandez.
Right,
he's got to be going against the wily veteran Terrell Gausha. It feels like Gausha has been, I don't want to say a gatekeeper, because like Keith Thurman said, if he's a gatekeeper, that gate must be welded shut, because he gave Elijah Garcia everything he can handle, and now he's looking to do the same thing with Yoeli Hernandez. Can you just talk about that fight and basically where Gausha is at in his career and his history with PBC?
Man, talk about things, okay, we just saw what Carlos Adames did to Ammo Williams last weekend, and think of the kind of fight that Terrell Gausha gave him. He gave him fits, and so and he gives a lot of guys fits. You mentioned Elijah Garcia. We've never seen Yoeli Hernandez tested, at this level against this caliber of fighter. Terrell Gausha's been around for a long time. He's a 2012 Olympian. He's no slouch, in a different setting, he'd probably have a world title. He's capable of winning a world title. So I think it's a really tough test for Yoeli, who, he's looked so good. Like from the first time I've seen him, just excellent. And what he did to Kyron Davis was a huge shock to me. I was not expecting that level of dominance, but this is another step up for him. And Gausha's dangerous. He's got a dangerous right hand. He's sneaky. So, it's another fight that I'm looking forward to, and another fight where I think someone's going to get hurt, and we'll see if Yoeli can handle the tactics of Gausha, who can bang, who knows how to move, who knows how to be slick. So he can cause a lot of problems for the kid.
Go ahead, Ezra. You look like you had something.
No, well, the thing with Yoeli too is like middleweight. Like middleweight needs talent influx. This is a guy that you're trying to see, is he the goods? Gaucha's an excellent test to see if you're the goods. You see a lot of guys get tested by him. He somehow hurts everyone he gets in the ring with. Now he's not usually able to capitalize on it, but he definitely would test that chin. So we're gonna have to see what that looks like. We're going back to the Mendoza fight. The thing about it, like it, we call it a gulag fight. You guys are co-main here, right? Fortunately, they're co-main, but the loser of this can easily be sent to the prelims now. Like your career is depending on it, and at those kind of fights, you get to me like a really good effort of these guys because they know it's a really important part of their career. I feel that in this whole card, it's a really important part of all these guys' careers.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think for Tejas, like I said, to take a fight of this caliber coming off a loss is huge, and it kind of shows what his mentality is. Like, I believe I'm that guy. I don't need a tune-up, a confidence builder, or anything like that. Put me right back in there with the top guys. And from Mendoza, this is perfect. He wants to make a statement and call out the winner of the main event. Like, hey, remember me? If Fedora wins, I was the guy that stopped. That stopped. And if Keith Thurman wins, okay, we both beat this guy. Let's get in the ring. So for Mendoza, it's a really important fight for him to get back to the top of the mix at 154.
Now, from top to bottom, I feel like this is a very interesting card. You have a lot of interesting names, maybe not household names, but very interesting names, interesting matchups. How do you guys, as a collective, balance these banger fights, but they might not be well-known people, but then you also have your bell cows, like the Tanks, the Charlos, the Spencers of the world. How do you guys balance that when you're building a card?
Yeah, I mean, to the extent that you can do both on a card, fantastic. There's so much that comes into play when you're trying to do that. The timing, who's available, well, who's ranked where, and what sanctioning body and can fight for what title, who are the opponents. There's so many things that go into that, and so you look at this card, you look at the San Antonio card, it wasn't a Benavidez headliner or a Tank headliner or a Charlo headliner. You did have some big names, and you have some big names on this card as well. But what you do have, what we try to do is, create matchups that will, satiate the fans, bloodlust, for and their want to see action. So I think this card does that, just like the San Antonio card did, just like whatever card we had before that did, just like whatever card we had before that did. And so again, kudos to the matchmakers and the people who put those things together.
Now, your next event that you're doing is going to be obviously Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. There's going to be a Tim Tszyu card on Amazon, but that's going to be over there in Australia. No Limit's going to handle that. Now, with Benavidez, can you just talk about how that fight even came about, that you guys were able to link up with Golden Boy and move him up to cruiserweight for this opportunity?
I think that, there probably have been a lot of talks with Golden Boy, over the past few months, maybe perhaps longer. And this is a fight that I think has been talked about for some time as well. It's kind of, been whispered about, and something that Benavidez outright has said this is something that he wants to do, and a lot of that has to do with his options at 175 and not having available to him the best fighters there, and not wanting to just take a tune-up or something like that. So he's doing something which I think is crazy, and moving up to cruiserweight to fight a 200-pound guy. I think he's that good. I expect him to win. But I think the magnitude of what he's trying to do shouldn't be overlooked, because actually it's a huge thing. And if this were something that were going on in the mid-90s, where a former super middleweight champion was moving up to fight a cruiserweight, which is now 200-pound limit, I think there'd be folks would be losing their minds, So again, salute to David Benavidez for doing it, and to the people who put it together always.
Go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead, Ezra.
Well, having a guy like David, right, it doesn't seem like it takes too much convincing to get him in the ring with anyone, right? How great is that to have a guy like that? You know what I mean? Because he obviously wants it, the achievements, but that also grows the star power, right? It's easy to sell a guy like that that's willing to get in with anyone. Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. Again, credit to him, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is crazy. You just got to 175, and it's not like 175 to cruiserweight. It's like those other divisions. Oh, it's a 4-pound jump or a 7-pound jump, which is significant. How much more a 15-pound, a 25-pound jump? That's to a world champion over there. So yeah,
you almost showed your age there saying 15-pound jump, KB.
Yeah, I know. I don't have to say my words. The grades speak for themselves, So, but you've got for him to do that says a lot. It's great to work with a guy like that. But I'll tell you something, and something that a lot of fans, sometimes they don't understand. They're like, oh, such and such is ducking. A lot of fighters are like that. They're like, what are my options? Okay, where can I get the most bang for my buck?
Yeah.
That guy, okay. All right, see you in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So a lot of fighters are like that, where if the business makes sense for everyone, then these fights tend to happen, not necessarily because the fighters are, trying to find, the easiest touch. I mean, look at Keith Thurman, tonight, same thing.
How was it having to deal with Golden Boy or Oscar De La Hoya to make this fight happen? I know there's been a long storied, sometimes checkered history between Oscar De La Hoya and PBC.
I wasn't around for most of that, for any of that really, and we've worked with them before. Obviously, Tank versus Ryan, and so it's not necessarily even the framing of the question. How is it dealing with them? It's not. I don't even look at it that way. There are partners in this event, and they do a great job. Oscar is. I can't speak to all the things that are going on in the news and all the craziness, but when you talk about a guy promoting an event, Oscar's really, really good at that. And so I enjoy that. I appreciate that. Obviously, working with everyone at Golden Boy, Jane Garcia, and everyone else it's been great. It's been smooth.
Yeah. Now, you guys got quite a few guys who have appeared in gyms across the country, but no fight dates yet. Can the fans look forward to the returns of certain PBC fighters? I'll start with Jermell Charlo, who's on his way to Vegas, probably landed already, to get an up-close personal look at Sebastian Fedora and Keith Thurman.
Well, tonight will be a test of the savvy of Huey and Mike, because if there's an opportunity, you better ask Jermell that question directly, and see what he wants to do, what he thinks of the fight or thought of the fight. And so I think he's champing at the bit, Jermell, to get back in the ring. And you don't hear him talking about any tune-up, right? So again, he's like, who are the guys? I'm ready. I'm mentally, physically, and spiritually ready. So I hope so, because he never lost his title, in the division. No one beat him, and he was that guy. And he's a guy that I could, if the guy we saw against Brian Castano shows up in his next fight, that's a pretty tough guy to beat, So, and people forget, I call Jermell a 90s fighter. He reminds me of Terry Norris, but with the chin,
Yeah.
He can do it all. So I think that, give him the right situation, perhaps the winner of tonight, we might see something.
Now, his twin brother, Jamal Charlo, has been seen in the ring with Rodney Shields, and he looks in great shape, I gotta say, because for a lot of people, they say a lot of things about Jamal Charlo, but if you see him right now, he looks to be in great shape. How soon can fans expect to see Jamal Charlo back in the ring, in your estimation?
I don't know, but what I thought was interesting, I overheard something yesterday during one of the interviews that took place. I forget which platform was doing the interview, but it was with Caleb Plant, and Caleb Plant said that's the fight we're targeting. That's the fight we want. So depending on if and when that gets done, I think that'll determine whether or not we see that fight. But I love that fight for both. I love that fight for both, and I think it's a shit or get off the pot fight, and I love those kind of fights in boxing where everything's on the line. Everything's on the line every time, but for two guys like that who've accomplished so much and who've been in the sport for so long, they know how much a win over the other means to them. So, perhaps we see that if that gets done, and if it does, then, hopefully we see it in the ring sooner rather than later.
Hey, I love that fight for you too, because you ain't got to do much to sell that fight. I mean, that's a fight that kind of sells itself.
No one ever. That's false. But no, I get what you're saying though, because it makes your life easier when the two guys talk as much trash as they do,
And it makes it easier when one has slapped the other one on camera. I mean, let's be honest. That's what people are going to be looking at.
You titled that fight Slapbox, right?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's why you titled that one, right? I mean, that has to be the title.
It makes it easier on one level, yes, because there's a lot to talk about. But then they got to be next to each other for 8 to 10 weeks. If the fight happens, you hope that it doesn't ignite before fight night. So
Yeah.
a lot of animosity there. I know they kind of squashed their beef before, but I doubt it.
It can start up so quickly, KB. It can start up so quickly.
Hey, listen, you slap me. I might say we squash it, but it's beef for life.
It's for life, and I think their peace treaty is like the Bloods and Crips,
Yeah. Now, in the gym with Jamal Charlo, we saw a fighter who, despite being out of the ring for close to 3 years, continues to generate headlines and interest from fans who want him to come back. The big fish, Errol Spence Jr. Are you guys realistically expecting to see Errol Spence Jr. in the ring in 2026?
It's up to him. It's up to him. I want to see it. And I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look like he's in the gym killing time, So on some level, just not having any, insider information or something like that. But if I just put my thinking cap on and watched his social media for the past 6 months, I get the sense that he wants to get back in the ring a bit. Ultimately we see what he decides to do, because when he's not doing that, I'm like, he's in Cabo or he's like, and this and that. So he's enjoying his life, enjoying his family for sure. But he looks in dog shape, man. Like, and it's not just it's I shake hands with a lot of fighters. You give pounds and hugs to a lot of fighters. You guys do. And I was talking about Fundora, but when I saw Errol 3 weeks ago or so, or at Barrios versus Ryan, and it gave him a pound and a hug, it was like he was a brick wall. Like, I was like, holy crap, dude. Healthy living, just being in the gym, you can see the transformation. He's in as good a shape as I've ever seen him in. So so as a fan, I want to see him back in the ring. Let's see what happens.
Now, he's rumored, and I know you don't answer rumors, but he's rumored to be awaiting Tim Tszyu, who fights next week, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to you guys. I don't want to say he's your bell cow, but he is one of the biggest stars in all of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis. There's been a lot of rumors that he's coming back. He's going to be fighting this guy on this date, this guy on this date. Can we expect to see Gervonta Tank Davis back in the ring in 2026?
I hope so. I'm his
you should be a politician, KB.
I'm his biggest fan. I think it's we're just getting started in March, and I think fight fans can be positive. Keith Thurman is fighting tonight against Sebastian Fundora. What a story! Who knew that he would have this opportunity 2 years ago? Folks would have been like, "Oh hell no!" He's done. It's over. So he's back. So I think we have reasons to be optimistic. The guys you mentioned before, you're seeing in the gym. I'm confident that Tank is going to return. I'm already preparing for it, mentally, and just thinking of what we're gonna do and how we're gonna go. I'm confident because he's a great fighter in his prime, a tremendous fighter in his prime in the face of boxing. So I'm confident that we will see him this year. It's up to him and whatever he feels like doing. But he's been around for a long time. He obviously loves the sport of boxing, so I expect he'll return. I think fighters have to understand. I was having this conversation yesterday with someone. Fans, should understand that some of these fighters do get burnt out, especially when you're not only have you been fighting since you were 7, but you're a superstar for so long. You do get burnt out. You look at Floyd Mayweather, after he fought, Ricky Hatton, and they were like, "Are you retiring?" And he's like, "I never said I was retiring. I'm saying I'm going to take 2 years off." Because he had been at that level for so long, at fighting, at that magnitude for so long, that he was just burnt out. Roy Jones, after he knocked down Montel Griffin, took the longest layoff of his career. Oscar De La Hoya took a year plus layoff prior to fighting Fernando Vargas. Michael Jordan in basketball, although we really don't know why, but even Michael Jordan in basketball did that. So I think, when you've been fighting at that level for so long and going through it, and you could almost see it. This is just my opinion, not anything that I've been told, but to me, like, you could almost see it if you think about where his head was at prior to the Lamont Roach fight, where he was kind of like, this is BS. You guys don't really, care about me or this and that, referring to the media or however he framed it. But I sensed a little being burnt out, being a little tired from him, just needing a break, and so let's allow him to get his hunger back. I think that'll happen sooner rather than later. And when he comes back, everyone's going to tune in. I can't wait. And I think he's going to remind us all how great he is.
I don't think people consider that. Is that, it's hard. Like what Floyd did was really hard to be a top fighter for that long. But to be a top fighter and a superstar for that long, it's something else. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys that are top fighters that don't have no fanfare. It's not the same pressure as you got to sell the show, you got to do the events and all that. It's something completely different. I don't think people, fans, as we watch it, we forget that sometimes.
It's a lot easier to be Oscar Collazo than it is to be Tank Davis.
It is.
Yeah. No shade to Oscar, but
no shade to Oscar. I tell people all the time, like, I have no idea what it's like to be Gervonta Tank Davis. No one does. And to deal with the things he has to deal with, to know the things that he knows, to walk through the doors that he has to walk through, to live the life that he has to live. I have no idea what it's like. That's a lot. And so, Floyd took 2 years off at the height of his powers, coming off a knockout, coming off the De La Hoya win and then a knockout of Ricky Hatton. It got no bigger than that. And at the top of his game, he walked away and said, I'll see y'all in a couple of years. So it happens to fighters. And I think that, Tank is a man with pride, a guy who, despite all the chatter on all the dumb shit I read on social media, is a guy who's not losing sleep over any of these guys, not at all. Doesn't even approach it that way mentally, doesn't even think about it that way. So I think I'm confident that we're going to see him back in the ring and that he's going to go on that run.
Now, PBC, at least in my estimation, is in a very interested position, unusual position for you guys. I kind of feel like you guys are almost like the plucky underdog that people are kind of rooting for now. It's like everyone wants to see PBC back. Everyone loves these PBC events. You guys do it bigger and better than anyone else in the business. Have you sensed a change in the public tenor towards PBC from the time where you guys were like the hated juggernaut, almost like the evil empire, to now it's like people are rooting for you guys to continue to bring big events to the United States?
I'm petty, so no, I'm still looking for the haters. That's all I see. I might see 40 good comments. Yeah, they motivate me. Bring them back wherever they are. I think that I don't know about the plucky underdog, and I don't know if there's an evil empire. I know that certainly a lot of people treated like we were the evil empire for a long time, and but time is the best prophet, which was crazy because all Al Heyman has tried to do is create big events and big stars for the sport, which is what is needed. We've had this conversation before when it was quote unquote free, it was mocked. People going, it's free, and look at this, free TV, and I remember they were like, well, this and that, but they can't build a pay-per-view star, and now it's like, whoa, slow down, with the pay-per-views. So it just seems like for a certain sect of people, no matter what we do, it's never going to be good. But the reality is, the majority of fans have supported us over the years. The majority of fans, despite what was said, so not necessarily the plucky underdog, and not even, I don't look at it as if we're competing against another platform. We're competing against ourselves. We have to constantly find ways to give the fans, the biggest and best fights possible, and that's always the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Now,
just so you know, KB, real quick, man. Just so you know, KB, the haters are saying You're holding back boxing now because you haven't joined the zone.
Oh, come
You
on.
know, and that's
Come
what they're saying
on.
now.
We're holding back boxing.
Yep,
I'll have to
you're holding
offline
back
about
all
that
the
one.
events.
Hey, listen, no shade to the zone, but I'll just move on. Now, speaking of the zone, we saw Top Rank went over there to the zone. They signed a deal with the zone. Golden Boy re-up with the zone. Two entities that you guys have worked with very, very recently. You did the 2 fights with Golden Boy, Ryan Garcia versus Barrios, and now David versus Zerto. And you also did the excellent fight between Stephen Fulton and Oshaki Foster with Top Rank. Are you guys at all concerned with how all these guys being under one entity will affect future fight dealings with them?
I wouldn't say concerned. I don't think it really changes much because there's still fights that can be made, and a fight is big enough and meaningful enough, and if the two sides truly want it, you find a way to make it. So I'm not too worried about that. We have a pretty big roster ourselves, and what one of the challenges of that, because our roster is so big, is trying to find dates for everybody. Much less trying to go out, with other platform, to other platforms and make fights. So I think each fight, each fighter, each event, each situation is different. If there's an opportunity to make a crossover fight, then we make it. But I just want to remind people that, again, PBC is not a promoter. Despite what they've been telling you kids, we're really not. And that's been proven in court many a time, legally and also in action. We work with everyone. Samson. I mean, the list is endless. I don't want to.
Tom Brown,
I don't want.
Knucklehead,
Yeah.
Warriors Boxing. You guys work with a plethora of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
so the game doesn't change for us.
Now we know all the big names that you guys got: the David Benavidez's, Tank Davis, the Charlos, Spence. Who are some of the fighters that you're looking at that maybe don't get exactly the hugest fanfare that you think fans should be on the lookout for?
Well, I think you got a couple on the card tonight. Yoanli Hernandez for sure is one, and even absolutely Yoanli Hernandez, Isaac Lucero, Jesus Ramos. There's so many fighters. If they aren't at that level, and should be at that level, then they haven't gotten the fanfare. Even Sebastian Fendura, who's now coming into his own, but is the longest reigning champion at 154. And I think on some level sometimes gets overlooked. But he's someone who's hitting his stride right now and has a huge opportunity tonight to make a statement and establish himself as the top guy in the division. He really should be the top guy already in the division. Pitbull Cruz, who I don't know what folks think, but that's a rough night for anybody. I don't even. Yeah. I mean, Pitbull was a scary fighter. So there are a lot of fighters. I think that, and I don't want to discount where they are in their careers because Pitbull's a star.
Yeah, he is.
Fendura's a star, but these are guys who I think are on the precipice of a bigger level of stardom.
Go ahead, Ezra.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm curious, like, what is the strategy when you're bringing up a guy? Say, he has star power. We have to develop him, but what is that balance of his star power may be outgrowing where he's at right now, so people want to see him in bigger fights, but we got to rate him in. How is that balancing act? You know what I mean? Is it just placement on card, or what is it?
We don't typically do the reining in thing. If anything, we kind of throw our prospects into the fire.
Yeah.
Like, go out there. Let's see what you got. David Morrell, Yoanli, who we're talking about. A lot of guys. Elijah Garcia fought Jose Armando Resendez
Yeah.
So we like to see what you have, fairly quickly, sometimes to our detriment, we could probably milk it. And so that's the development in terms of in the ring, outside the ring, each event is its own entity, so you just figure out a way, you look at the lifespan of a fighter, how his career is developing, where that event is in that lifespan, and so you market and present the event, but make sure it's in line with the overall story you're telling. About that fighter's career. So it's both things, but we don't try to rein in our guys. If you're ready, you're ready. Let's go.
Now, one of your hold on real quick, Ezra. One of your shining stars who also fought recently in a hell of a fight, Gary Antoine Russell. He's been making waves, calling out any and everybody with a belt at 140, especially one Richardson Hitchens. Are you guys working on something for Gary Antoine? Is a Richardson Hitchens fight realistic for him, or what's going on with Gary Antoine?
Definitely something's being worked on for Gary Antoine. Obviously, he just fought recently and looked tremendous. And thank you for bringing him up, because he's certainly somebody. It's his time. It's his time. There was a time a couple of years ago where Gary Antoine, well, here he is. It's his time, and he's a world champion now. And I think he's ready for all the top guys. I think that his win over Handy Hirioka was kind of underrated. Like, if you're a fight fan and you have those set of eyes, like, you could see Andy Hirioka was really, really good, scary good. And I can't believe that Gary Antoine took the body shots that he took and was able to come back, and he showed a lot of skill on the inside, a lot of skill on the outside, a lot of subtle things in there. And it made me realize, this is why this guy was such a great amateur. I didn't think that fight was that close. I thought Gary won 8-4, and that Hirioka was really, really good. That was a very competitive 8-4, but Gary won clearly. I think there are a lot of fights for him. We welcome with open arms the Richardson Hitchens fight. The question is, does Hitchens feel the same?
It sounds like he's going to Zuffa. Now, let's go back to tonight's card, because, like I said, I want to focus on the great card you guys have tonight. Great event at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Besides the main event, is there any fight on the card that you think might steal the show?
It's tough to put one over the other, and I know that sounds like PR speak, but it's really not. I think that there's potential for a lot of great fights on the card, but even with that said, I don't think anyone's stealing the show from the main event. I think that there's just too many, variables and too many potential scenarios in the main event. It could be what if Sebastian goes out there and just grinds, Thurman down in a legit star-making statement performance, in the finest performance of his career, something similar to what he did to Tim Tszyu. What if Keith Thurman flatlines him in 2 rounds, or turns in a veteran's performance where he just shows his craft and breaks the kid down and gets him out of there, or wins clearly? There are a lot of potentially great fights on the card, but I just feel like the magnitude of the main event won't allow any other fight to steal its thunder.
Just to kind of keep going on Matt's question and asking in a different way, we know that the pay-per-view card is great. There's all those fights have the opportunity to they're going to be entertaining. They're going to have a lot of fireworks in them. Of the free fights on Prime, what's the one fight you would tell viewers to make sure that they watch?
I think that's a tough one. Probably.
Can I say?
Go for it.
Because Elijah Garcia versus Kevin Newman.
Yeah, that's probably
all right.
The Kevin Newman Elijah Garcia fight.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Elijah Garcia, he shows a lot of promise. Young fighter, good fighter, got the good skills. But Kevin Newman is a very, very capable fighter. And in speaking with him and speaking with his trainer, the legendary Roy Jones Jr., they have identified some things that they think they're going to take advantage of in this fight against Elijah Garcia. And Elijah did struggle a bit in his last fight with Terrell Gausha. This almost feels like a gulag fight. This is, hey, Elijah Garcia, are you who we think you are? Or are you going to be one of those what-if kind of prospects? And for Kevin Newman, this is his last chance. Mm-hmm. If he beats Elijah Garcia, I'm pretty sure PBC is going to bring him back for another fight. But if he loses at this level again, then, hey, it's back to club shows for you, buddy. So to me, this is a very, very interesting fight. And to be quite frank, I think that this particular fight has a chance to steal the entire night.
Yeah, it's a great matchup. You have a lot of those kind of fights on the card. Even Havanesian versus Cesar Navarro too is has a lot of implications as well. But I was going to go with that fight to Newman and Elijah Garcia for the reasons you just mentioned. Um, this is it for Elijah Garcia. You're now at super middleweight. You want to hang with the big boys at super middleweight. You've got to make a statement. And Kevin Newman looks like he's in great shape. This fight's important for him. It's important for his trainer. And, I believe his brother passed a couple months ago. That's weighing heavy on his mind. So he's got a lot to fight for, so either one of them is going to fold, and I think that's kind of the story of the night is that everyone is going to let their nuts hang.
Elijah Garcia too. Like there was a lot of excitement for him, right? He had the excitement was growing. Then it's kind of flattened out. Maybe even went down a little bit. Yeah. People are trying to figure out what's happening with why the performance is that. Weight was a big one. So now he's at a new weight class. There's no excuse there no more, right? Mm-hmm. It's not the weight cut, not nothing. This is where you're at. You gotta perform today. You know what I mean? So that's a one that I'm eager to watch too. I'm very excited to watch that one.
Yeah, and you switch trainers, went back to your father. So it's do or die. It's do or die for a lot of guys. And so the matchups I think are really thoughtful. And I know there's some skeptics out there, and I'm not afraid to address that. But I telling you, the matchups are really, really thoughtful. And I guarantee you if that after tonight, you'll be a lot less skeptical moving forward.
Now, what do you have to say to all the people out there that support PBC? What do they have to look forward to in 2026?
I mean, I think this is our first show of 2026, and you can expect a nice little run. We've got another event coming right back around, next weekend with Tim Tszyu in a fight that has a lot of implications as well. And then a couple weeks after that, we're coming right back May 2nd with David Benavidez. Obviously, you guys know what we're trying to put together for May 30th. Well, hopefully that comes off. Still a work in progress, but that alone is a great.
Start the contract, big boy.
Let's just see how it all unfolds. Let's just see what happens. But yeah, we're hoping that can get finalized, and I think that's a tremendous fight, and we'll put on a tremendous card for that as well. If not, we've got a couple things in the chamber. But that alone is a really great string of fights, and should kind of tell fans, if they're paying attention and you're looking at what we're lining up, kind of tell fans what's coming this year. And then we hit the summer, and a Tank might roll through that summer, and a couple of the other names that you mentioned. So I feel good about 2026. You know me, I don't. There's always noise. We were dead 10 years ago. Let them tell it. So let's just see what happens.
Yeah, you're still going strong. Back with another huge event tonight. Sebastian Fundora, Keith Thurman, PBC pay-per-view on Amazon Prime, live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Kenneth Bouhairie, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, KB.
Thanks,
all right, you and Mike, I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, hey, listen, I'm pumped for tonight, man.
Oh man,
I'm pumped for tonight.
Mike looks like he's already on location.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mike is out. Mike is out.
Mike's a streamer now.
I'm headed there because this is how I got that Thurman interview the last time. I'm hoping Charlo shows up.
I'm telling you,
streamer, Mike. You look like a streamer. It looks like
you guys gotta understand. Listen, Mike is the hardest working man in show business.
Mike's about
Brunch,
to say
Brunch Boxing has a rep to keep up over here.
Look at this. Okay. This is amazing. This guys, honestly, we are watching IRL. This is what that's called, IRL for the kids out there. For the people too old, that's in real life. That's what we're seeing here from Mike. We're seeing him in action. This is like a first-person shooter, third person, really, facing backwards. And this is great. This is great to see. He's going to start talking to the chat. It seems like he's going to start talking to the chat, honestly.
Yeah.
Talking to the chat. I'm surprised there's not a swarm of people like when Speed goes somewhere. I was surprised there's not a swarm.
And Mike is out there looks maxing and mogging.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
KB said a lot of true things, but the one thing that he said true that pissed me off is that I get it why they asked for Matt. Like everybody fucking loves Matt. When they asked for Ezra, I'm like, you got the #1 Mexican right in front of you. What are you asking for Ezra for? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing?
I got a lot of DMs like when you flying out, when you touch ground. A lot of DMs like that. Hated to disappoint the people.
And none of them from women.
Yeah, they're always like, well, when's Ezra coming in? How are you gonna get? They know Matt's not coming out here unless we get him out here.
Well, to be fair,
Right now, negotiating with Matt is like Rick Majerton negotiating with Oscar. It's hard right now. I can't even get an answer back to what it takes to get him out here.
Honestly, having to explain to people that neither you or Matt travel to do the show, but we do the show every week and cover every event is really difficult.
Yeah.
It's a really difficult thing to explain.
You know what's funny? It's my mom asked me, "Do you guys have boots on the ground this week?" Literally used the expression. I was like, "That's great, fantastic." I said, "We do. We have 4 boots on the ground this week."
Did you use the expression to her at some point, or did she?
No, she listens to the show. She listens to the show.
Oh, okay.
She listens to the show.
And actually, Ezra, we have
really
six, we have 6 boots on the ground, not 4.
6 boots on the ground?
Yes, we do.
Oh wow.
Mike Scott Boomer is out there also.
Oh, Boomer, of course.
Oh yeah.
Boomer. I've been retweeting his stuff. I've been retweeting his content. Yes.
Yeah, man. So
a lot of good people getting great content.
It's growing. The brunch boxing is growing every day.
It is. We actually got another new hire coming up. So
I'm telling you right now, you guys, it's getting bigger. It's getting more professional, and I keep getting in a worse area to film. Like I was in a room, I was in an office, I had the background. Now I'm in a garage in a corner, in a dusty corner. There's a box next to me. Like there's literally a Lowe's box next to me. You know what I mean? Like, but the show grows. You know what I mean?
Hey, Ezra, we don't want to hear about your marital problems.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, bro. How did you end up in the garage? Where did they like? Hey, go do your show in the garage.
I didn't realize when we were moving that people were claiming square footage, and when I got, I realized, I didn't place anywhere for me to film, so I just ended up in the corner. Of the
That's the first thing you gotta do is take a room.
Hey, but Ezra, Brunch Boxer started in his bedroom, then it moved to our office. Now it's in the garage. Next, he's gonna be doing it from his car.
Hey, it's grassroots. I'm going the other way though.
No, he had money to start. Now he's losing it all. The show.
You're watching it in real time.
All right,
I would love to see Mike play the slots live on camera. I would love to see some kind of action happen on camera when we have the
opportunity. All right, look at it here. I'm gonna turn around. Oh, you know what? I'm headed to the MGM. I'll get on there right now.
You know what? Listen, let me tell you this, Mike. I got 100 right now. Let's put it on something. I don't care. Let's do it live.
You know what?
I'll put 100 on something.
All right, I'll do you a favor. Then I'll put it on Elijah Garcia. How do you like that?
Hey, Mike, come on. I want a chance at winning something. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I'll keep the 100 and just say I did it. You know, because I'll be like, all right.
Or you take the 100 to the bunny ranch. But yeah, let's
family show.
All right, let's get back to tonight's card. Let's get back to the main event. I'm going to ask Ezra the question that he created, that he loves. What is best for boxing? A Keith Thurman victory or Sebastian Fundora victory?
When I originally thought of this, I thought the answer was obvious. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. Man, you might have made this a little bit tougher for me. And the thing, I'm going to say Fundora. And it's for the obvious reasons. He's in his prime. He's younger. I do think that there's really good, as far as like a boxing fan, as far as like a diehard, I think there's really good fights to be made with him. When I saw the Zoo #2 fight again, I was amazed at how good he looked in that fight. I think that I was maybe when I first watched, I was just stunned at like Zoo just getting beat down. But then I really watched Fundora's performance. I mean, he was a machine gun in there. That's the only way I can explain it. He was a machine gun in there.
You know, it's very interesting because when Zoo versus Fundora was announced, you didn't like that. You didn't.
Oh, I love that fight. You guys told me that I should be excited for Zayas, and I was
you know what? It was me that didn't like the fight.
Yeah. I love that fight, and it did pay off exactly as I thought.
Oh God! So as right? Question mark?
Yes. Even though I did pick Zoo to win the second one,
Jesus Christ!
but that, so in my mind, as a diehard, as what I know that the best fights could be made, I think it would be Fundora. But you know, the one thing you got me on is like, if Thurman wins, Spence is a really big fight. Charlo's a really big fight. Virgil Ortiz is a really big fight. So that's the thing. It's like when you say what's best for boxing, it's like what's going to get the most attention, right? Like what's going to get conversation going. What's healthy for the sport? It might be Thurman. I wasn't there. I think you convinced me on that. I think you might have convinced me on that. As far as health for the sport, it's Thurman.
It wasn't me that convinced you of it. It was Keith Thurman that convinced you of it.
Maybe.
Because I think in watching him this week, you know that Keith Thurman could sell a damn fight. If there's anything he can do, he could still sell a fight. Now, I think it's best for boxing if Keith Thurman wins for the reasons that you said. We still have an Errol Spence out there. We still have Jamel Charlo out there. We still have a Virgil Ortiz out there. We still have the winner of a potential Boots versus Xander Zayas fight out there. There's a lot of fights that can be made and big business that can be made if Keith Thurman wins. And something that you haven't really considered, if Keith Thurman wins, he could be a potential opponent for the winner of the September fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao.
Damn it, Matt. Me and you were thinking that because I was about to jump in with that because I said this fight is not no one's talking about. It's a Pacquiao rematch at 154 for a bout. You know what I mean? Because if Pacquiao were to beat Floyd, but he could be either one, of course. But I'm just saying though, right? Let's just say Pacquiao beats Floyd, and he says, you know what? I'm willing to keep going. And he goes, at 154, there's a real title there for a guy I already beat, and he's a little bit older too. We could do that, and that is there. Like that is there. That's what I'm saying. Like the bigger fights are definitely with Thurman. The better fights are with Fundora.
Now, tomorrow today, what are the people saying if Sebastian Fundora wins?
I think people are saying, is this the best 154? Have we been pushing Boots, pushing Virgil, pushing Zayas? Is it just Fundora? Is Fundora just figured it out? He's finally come into his own? And are we dealing with a different monster here that just kind of stuck up on us? That's what I think we could be saying.
You know, it's funny you say that. I feel like we are one Brian Mendoza overhand left from saying that Fundora is the guy at 154.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, it's like people can't put that out of their heads. And what people keep forgetting, he was kicking Brian Mendoza's ass up until Brian Mendoza caught him with that shot.
It's practically a
you
shot.
know? Yeah, so maybe he has been the best guy at 154 the entire time, and we just have to open our eyes to it. Now, what are the people saying tomorrow today if Keith Thurman wins tonight?
I think they're saying this is Keith Thurman's best win of his career. I think they're saying this is Keith Thurman's best win of his career. I think that Keith Thurman will have a lot of options from here. We're going to be hearing who's who. And I think, you know what? Keith Thurman's older. People still think that if he wins this fight, that it'll somehow be because it was a good matchup or whatever, and he'll still be food for someone. So I think everybody's going to line up. I think everybody will line up to take that fight, and he'll have his options ahead of him on what he wants to do. It's a real, as far as like power in your career, this is like a hell of a step for Keith Thurman to be one of the more guy with one of the more options at boxing.
I think people are going to be calling him to be the return opponent for Errol Spence or Jamel Charlo. That's what I think.
I think if Keith Thurman wins, at least I will be singing Blink 182 one more time, one more time, because he will be back. Listen, it is big for boxing. I think, and we'll get into it when you do your breakdown. I have a sneaky suspicion that Keith, one more time, Thurman will do it again. I just have a sneaky suspicion. Fight week. Huey, Mike, you guys have been boots on the ground. What have you seen from both guys during fight week? We'll start with you, Mike.
You know what? I've seen Fundora, somebody finally get under his skin. You know, this is probably as aggressive as he's going to get. You could saying. So for me, that doesn't bode well for Keith, you know, because he really wants to hurt him. Keith, he's just confident. You know, Keith loves Keith. You know what I mean? Ricky loves Ricky. He thinks he still got something to show. He feels kind of semi-disrespected. Like, he's like, I'm not scared of nobody. Not Fundora, not Charlo, not Crawford. So I switched my pick last minute. I'm going with Fundora.
Oh,
I,
wow.
I wasn't
And I'm a
expecting
one-time
that.
guy.
I was not expecting that.
And I'm a one-time guy just because I this is Keith. This is always Keith. But seeing how Fundora is and how confident he's talking, and almost like they know a secret we don't know. That's how I'm saying it. Go ahead, Huey.
Yeah. So Fundora, I think similar to Mike, I think if we've seen like little parts of frustration come from him with some of the talking and that, but at the same time, I do think that he's in a good mental space where he's kind of just able to, hear what Keith's taking. He's not going out of his character to respond in a way, and I think that was something very important KB brought to mind, because that means that he's still going to stay within his own what he's confident doing in his own self. And so he's not going to break out of his style and his game plan. I don't think Keith's getting in his head where he's going to, want to go in there and do something out of character and out of what they trained for. So that part, I see Fundora. I mean, he's coming in being the same guy he's always is. He's chill, he's relaxed, he's confident in what he's going to do. I think he and he knows that he's capable of going in and winning fights. When he got clipped by Mendoza, like you said, he was dominating that fight completely. So it was just a one-off time. I think he learned from that. We saw it in the Zoo fight. We've seen it in fights afterward. He was a little tentative, but he's gotten more comfortable in the ring since that first fight back from the Tim Zoo or from the Mendoza fight. And I just think that he's in a good space where he's not really worried about he knows that he's going to go in there and do what he has to do. I don't think he's really worried about who his opponent is at this point in time. He's just going to go in there and do his job each night. With Keith, I don't know, man. He's really, really confident, but part of me sees a guy that's going out there and kind of soaking in the most of his last opportunity.
Huey, does it remind you of when Roy Jones, I forgot what fight it was. It could have been Calzaghe or it could have been Tarver, but he came out before the fight and waved hi to the crowd. When he arrived to the arena, he went out, no gloves or anything, went way high to the crowd. Or that similar to it kind of felt like a goodbye almost.
I think that's a really good analogy. I do. I don't know if it's the exact same, but I think that he's been really theatrical. He's been really out there, and I do think he's making the most of a time that he's going to have in the spotlight. That might be his last opportunity to have it.
Matt, Matt, what are you drinking? What is that you're drinking?
Water.
Okay, do it again, just real quick. Just do it real quick. Watch. Look at Matt's screen. Just do it real quick.
No, I'm good.
Come on,
good.
It disappears. It doesn't make the screen. It looks completely ridiculous. It's one of the most ridiculous things.
Does it?
Because he's got the background, so it blends in. Yeah. It tries to blend it in.
Hold on. Let me see. Hold on.
Oh, it does. Oh man! All right, and Matt, I know you asked directed that question to Mike and myself, but I do want to bring on a friend of the show, founder of the Corner Stool Substack, Cliff Rold. What do you have to add to this matchup between Keith Thurman and Sebastian Fundora?
I find the matchup interesting the closer we get to the fight. I went back and watched Keith Thurman's fight with Brock Jarvis last year, and there's some things I like in that fight and some things I didn't. I didn't like the way Thurman took punches early in the fight. Not that he didn't take them, but he seemed to catch some blind shots and got rocked early. As fighters age, they sometimes don't catch as well as they used to. Maybe Jarvis really caught him with a good one, but that stood out to me. But the other thing that stood out is Thurman didn't show old legs and he didn't show old reflexes. His speed is still really good. And Fundora is painfully slow. And Thurman also still gets to the body extremely hard. And when you're fighting a 6'5" junior middleweight, you want to get to the body. Thurman's always been an excellent body puncher. He got himself back into the Pacquiao fight, attacking the body, had Pacquiao hurt to the body. I think this is closer to a 50-50 fight than people think. I also tweeted last night, inactivity is not and age are not what they used to be in boxing. One of the reasons that I think inactivity for older fighters used to hurt them so much against younger guys is because of how active those younger fighters were. If you were Sugar Ray Leonard coming off a 2-year layoff to fight Terry Norris had 5 fights in the last year. He was younger, he was faster, and he was razor sharp. Like his game was at its highest possible level. Sebastian Fundora has had 6 fights since Thurman's fight against Barrios in 2022. That's not even 2 fights a year. So everybody is knocking off ring rust all the time. I mean, Fundora is coming in off of a 9-month layoff. Thurman's coming in off of a 12-month layoff since his last one. He's had multiple camps. I don't think the inactivity and age are that big of a deal. The closer we get to the fight and the more I look at it, speed wins, and speed and experience win. Thurman has beat a higher level of fighter than Fundora in his career. I don't think Fundora's best wins are all that impressive. Tim Tszyu turned out to be a good fighter, not a great one. He got knocked out by a journeyman in Brian Mendoza. And, he was life and death with an Erickson Lubin who, outside of that fight was never really competitive with the upper level of the junior middleweight division. I think Thurman springs the upset tonight. He hasn't been a big knockout artist in the last 10 years, but I think he stops Fundora late, going to the body, overhand right. I think he's going to knock Fundora out.
Now, let me ask you a question, because, Cliff, you are very adept at the historical perspective. First of all, would a win over Fundora put Keith Thurman in the Hall of Fame? And where would you rank a win over Fundora in Keith Thurman's career?
For him, I think it would probably be his third best win. I mean, given the age and all of that, and there's a title on the line, the freakish size of Fundora, it's going to stand out, I think. But when people look back, they're gonna the fights against Danny Garcia and Sean Porter and the context of those fights, how big they were, national television. I mean, people forget those fights weren't just on Showtime. Those fights were on CBS and had 3, 4, 5 million people watching those fights. Keith Thurman had generated massive audiences for his biggest fights. So I think those two will remain his 2 biggest fights. His Hall of Fame case, I think, is dicey. Going into this fight, with the ranking stuff that I keep, Fundora is 5-0 against the rankings with a loss to an unranked Mendoza. Keith Thurman is 5-1. Neither one of them has incredible career depth. But I think Thurman winning sets up some very interesting stuff, because you have some old man fights you can make. If he beats Fundora, you could make Thurman versus comebacking Jermell Charlo. You could make Thurman versus Spence still. And then there's some young guys out there who are pretty lethal, that also make up the junior middleweight division. You could also see the junior middleweight division sort of split in two, between sort of an elder statesman side of the class and the young guns with Xander Zayas, Ennis, and Ortiz. And on the other side, you could have Josh Kelly and Keith Thurman and some of these older guys who can fight each other and, eventually get to a big fight with one of the younger guys. So, I does it make him a Hall of Famer? I don't know, but he's going to be on the ballot one day, especially if he wins tonight.
Do you have any other fights on tonight's card that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to watching the show. I do think the Tellez fight looks pretty good, so I'll enjoy that. I'll watch the Atama fight early in the day because I'm curious about him. I'm not completely sold on Moses Atama, like some people are, but I'm curious to watch his development. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you giving us perspective. Just tell the people where they can find your work at and what they can look forward to on your Substack.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot there in the last month, but today got me fired up. I just posted a career profile for Keith Thurman. So if you want to know who he beat, when they were ranked, et cetera, that kind of stuff is in there. It's at rollboxing.substack.com. And the fight preview will be up here in just a few minutes.
Oh, man, thank you so much. My TBRB colleague, Cliff Rolled. Oh, man, Ezra, let's get to your favorite part of the show, Ezra, because it's all about you, buddy. The Ezra breakdown and the Ezra report card. How about you start with your guy, Moses Atama, who will be returning to the ring shortly against Jermaine Franklin.
Yeah, with Atama, and Rose said he was not completely sold on him. I'm kind of getting a little bit of that from the people I talk to that I respect their opinions on boxing. It's like a little bit of pushback on, and maybe because there's so much hype on him, maybe because people accuse me of wanting to give him the crown or whatever, those things. The thing, I really don't get it. I got to be honest with you. I mean, this is a guy with physical ability that you just don't see often in heavyweight, but really hardly ever, right? Like the foot speed that this guy has. I'm trying to think of like someone that matches that foot speed in a long time, right? Like it's just a very rare how this guy fights, and his ability, his power, his speed. Like I was going over the most physically gifted fighters in boxing. Now, to me, the most physically gifted fighter in boxing right now is now.
Hey, wait! Don't give that away. Don't give that away. You could make it a short video. Make a short video with that.
Well, anyways, we're talking about most physically gifted. This is one of the most physically gifted fighters in boxing, and he's the most physically gifted heavyweight right now. He is the most physically gifted heavyweight in boxing right now. Like, to me, the only question to me about him, right, is we got to see, okay, what's his stamina at? I don't think that's going to be an issue. But the one that we don't know, and I don't know, no one can tell you, is where's his chin at? If he gets touched, what is that going to be, right? What is that going to look like? That's where we're looking to see if this guy can go some rounds, and if Franklin can maybe put something on his chin, then we could maybe find out. But I don't think we're going to see that. I think he's so physically gifted and superior.
Hold on. I don't want to interrupt your breakdown. Jermaine Franklin is weighing like a career high, 280 something pounds.
I know. But you're just kind of seeing if someone touches his chin, what's going to happen, right? But what I'm saying is exactly, I think that he's too physically gifted for Franklin. He's too gifted. And someone asked me, is it going to be a first-round stoppage? I wouldn't be stunned if it's a first-round stoppage. Am I picking a first-round stoppage? No. Maybe it's a little bit more durable than that. But it's a second or third-round stoppage. This dude is the goods. I mean, I'm completely, like I said, I'm in behind it 100%. I think this guy's the goods. I think he has to be watched. I think you're talking about heavyweight. Boxing goes as the heavyweight division goes. To me, this is a guy that could be the top man in heavyweight for years to come. Is it a great card? No, but is that a fight that you have to watch? Yes. And I think that he's going to be too fast, too good, too skilled, and he's going to look dominant today.
Now, what would you grade this card overall?
Not to see.
At least he's honest.
Yeah,
he's honest. And just to be clear, Ezra, on your 1.5, 2.5, though, just on those lines, they expect this in a way. So under 2.5 rounds for Atalma is plus 340. That's it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like he's too physically good. The only thing they're gonna say is like, is Franklin durable enough to just survive it? I don't think he is, because it's like the speed, the placement, all the things this guy does. It's just really special to me. What I'm seeing, you know what I mean, at this point.
In the words of Teddy Atlas, against who? Against who? Are there any other fights that we should be looking forward to on this particular card?
For me personally, no. Maybe you have some guys you're like, hey, let's check this out. But for me personally, I'm just the main event was selling point.
I'm always down to see Willie Hutchinson.
I was just about to ask you if you care about the Ezra Taylor fight.
Yeah, Ezra Taylor versus Willie Hutchinson is going to be a good fight.
Yeah, absolutely, Rolled.
No. I didn't mean to talk over Matt.
Oh, go ahead, Roll.
Here's what I would say about Atama. Here's the thing that jumps out at me, right? Like, he's supposed to be the new Mike Tyson, right?
Okay.
But why isn't he in the ring? Like, why is he coming off of a 7-month layoff when he's 20 years old? And I know that young guys don't fight as much as they used to. You're not going to get him 20 fights in a year. I get that. But I feel like there's more parallels right now to the way that Jerry Cooney was being managed as a young puncher, dynamic puncher, than the way, say, a Mike Tyson was being managed. And maybe they're playing the long game. But I see a guy who's kind of pudgy. He's got quick feet. Yes, he's got quick hands, but so did Joseph Parker. And Joseph Parker had people like on fire as sort of a little smaller than the super heavyweights, super quick when he was coming up, knocking guys out really easy. And then they stepped his level of competition up, and that illusion went away quickly. He went on to have an excellent career, but it wasn't what it looked like early. I wonder why they aren't getting this guy out of the blocks more often and building the momentum that they're talking his momentum up instead of building it in the ring. I find that somewhat concerning. They did that with Cooney too, and it set him up for failure against Larry Holmes when he had like 2 fights in 2.5 years, while they talked about how he was going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. I'm not saying that Atama's not the goods. I'm just saying, like, they're not managing him like the goods right now, like, because the goods get in the ring. Like, why isn't this guy on every Saudi card that they can get him on right now? I don't get that part. So I'm not a believer, but I'm still a little skeptical of what they're trying to build here.
Yeah, I think that more speaks to just the way boxing works. right now as far as like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't. There's not a lot of guys that I see on a lot of cards like consistently. I just it's just not. You know, like let's look at maybe different situation, but Kamal Moulton, right? Like Kamal Moulton fights so sparingly for a guy that's coming up, right? I don't get that either, Road. I agree with you on that, but I still think that
Carmel Moulton is not a heavyweight.
No,
Like
I get
that's
you.
the difference,
you.
right? You got a heavyweight doing 1-round fights. Get him more 1-round fights.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the thing about heavyweight, and this has always been historic of the heavyweight division, you need like 30, sometimes 40 fights to really develop into who you're gonna be as a heavyweight. I think that's what the downfall of Anthony Joshua was. He became Anthony Joshua, he became AJ, he became a big business before he had those necessary developmental fights. And I think that that's why he hasn't quite beat the top guys when he's gotten into the ring with them. And I think that we're seeing that with Atama. Go look at the history of the heavyweight division. Go look at how many fights George Foreman had, Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali. Go look at even the Klitschko's. Go look at how many fights these guys had before they even had their first title shot.
Yeah, I just think that what we're in now, the business is so completely different than that era that you might not get that anymore. You know what I mean?
But you know what you are gonna get? You're gonna get this kid knocked out. You're gonna get this kid knocked out. That's what's gonna happen.
Like I said, and I stand by this. If we're talking about Usyk and toughest challenges, I think this kid's top 3 toughest challenges for him.
All right. Let's go on to the Pro Box card tonight. Not to be outdone by PBC. We have Brian Alvarez. No. Yeah, Brian Alvarez versus Ronnie Rios. What are your thoughts on that card?
Ronnie Rios he's definitely, I feel like, past his due date. You know what I mean? Like, the sell by date. But he's an entertaining fighter, right? Like, when's Ronnie Rios in a fight that's not entertaining? He's a fighter to me that brings action. I think the fight's probably gonna deliver an action performance like that. Pro Box cards, the only thing I say is, like, I'm not gonna try to act like I know every guy on the Pro Box card. But the one thing I will say is that as far as the brand, what they do consistently is they put on good cards.
With the exception of last week.
Okay, but they put on matches that are guys that are coming up that still usually believe in their career, guys that still have something to prove, and they're still around equal level. And when you do that, boxing is such a good product. When you do that it's just going to deliver for the most part. 90% of the time, it's going to deliver. That's how the sport of boxing, why it was so popular at one time, is because if you just have all the guys and they face each other and they're around the same spot, you're going to get a good product. It's going to get entertaining. You're going to see some highlight stuff. So that's what Pro Box does. So it's definitely always worth a watch. It's free. It's really no point of not tuning in if you're a boxing fan. You love Friday night fights. This is what this is. But to me, the fights are even more entertaining. It's one of the to me the best products you can get in boxing today.
What would you rate this card tonight?
I don't know enough about it to say that.
All right. Now let's get to the granddaddy of them all. PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. Sebastian Fundora. Give us your Ezra breakdown and your official grade for tonight's card.
I have 5% on my phone right now. I'm just going to say right now. At one point, I'm going to have to make a beeline to get a charger.
Oh, my goodness.
But I will say this right here. For the report card of this fight, there are interesting matchups here. If I don't, when the older fighter comes, the one thing I can't stand is when an older fighter fights an older fighter. I'm like, what are we doing? Is it a different league than what we're seeing? Keith Thurman's not doing that. Keith Thurman thinks he's a top dog still. He's fighting a top dog still. That's one thing 100%. Keith Thurman is not trying to fake it. He's not trying to fight a guy that he feels is at his level. He's finding the top dog and trying to prove he's at the highest level. Mendoza versus Tellez, that's a gulag fight. We love gulag fights in brunch boxing. You got what's the other fight that Yoli Hernandez, right, versus Goucher. If Hernandez is the goods, right, because he looked it against Cameron Davis, like that was a impressive performance, right? Didn't look at some point like he was having a hard time getting him out of there. But if he's the goods, and we know Goucher, we call him a gatekeeper. He's like that security guard that goes like this, and then it says "get in there." He barely touches him. We all seen that gif before where the security guard barely touches the guy and tells him get in there. I don't know if he's a gatekeeper. I mean, the gate seems to be open, right? The gate seems to be open. But if it wasn't
open for Elijah Garcia,
huh?
It wasn't open for Elijah Garcia.
We don't know how good Elijah Garcia is.
I think he can.
Yeah, but that's what a gatekeeper does. A gatekeeper tells you that this guy is good enough.
Yeah, I think Terrell Gaucher is the guy that you can use to help tell you what level a guy is at, because like when you look at what he did with Elijah Garcia and then look what he did with Tim Tszyu, like they were different fights, and we expected different things out of those two fighters coming out of that fight with Terrell Gaucher.
Okay, so
he put Tim Tszyu on his ass too.
He did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He did.
You know,
I was at that fight.
There's one thing that I remember I created this one time was like a VIP gatekeeper. So he's like a little bit more advanced than a gatekeeper. He's like the next level trying to get in. He's not that then. He's just the guy at the front door. I'll give you that, right? He's the guy at the front door.
He's going to pat you down, but he ain't going to put you through the metal detectors.
Exactly. Hernandez is, if he's the guy in the middleweight division, the middleweight division needs a guy, right? He needs a guy. I haven't seen anyone that I'm like, that's the guy. This is the performance that he needs to have. He needs to have a dominant. This wasn't close. This wasn't competitive. There wasn't a part where he was confused. There wasn't a part where he was struggling. This is the fight he needs it. We also have Gergen Hovnesian, right?
Big Goog.
Goog. Listen, at one point when he fought Michael Kopp, I said, I don't get why people aren't so hyped on this guy. He's a big guy that can move around. He's got a little bit of sauce to him. He's a little smooth with it sometimes. I like him. Then I seen him fight on another card, and I said, he looked like he don't dedicate himself to the sport. He looked slow, sluggish. I want to see what he is, because I think that the ability-wise, he has ability. Does he have the commitment to the sport to really go and do something? The heavyweight division, I think, is on fire right now. I think the heavyweight division has a lot of talent, and this is a guy that would be really interesting if he took his career seriously. They could enter enter those names.
Now, do you remember we were talking the other day about Lotto, the rapper, because she's pregnant, and I said, hey, we have to replace Lotto now.
Okay.
We got a new Lotto. We're going to replace her with Yana.
Yes.
She looks enough like Lotto. You know, she's younger. She can maybe do what Lotto does. She got talent too. We got a new Lotto. We're replacing her.
Okay.
I think that's what PBC did with Adam Kornacki.
Yeah. You might be right. You might be right.
Say, hey, Kornacki's done. Hey, where's the other bald, fat white guy? Hey, Big Goog, get in here.
That's a great comparison. Yeah, that is.
Exactly you got Big Goog.
Well, listen, I like Big Goog. I think Big Goog has more potential than Konaki ever had. So let's just see if he can take his career seriously. Let's see if he really wants to find out.
They put Konaki on it. Was it a New Year's or Christmas card that they put Konaki on?
Oh, I think it was a Christmas card.
It was Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's get to my breakdown for Thurman and Fundora. Thurman, the one thing is like what I see him as, right? Like when he fought Barrios, I thought he had slowed down. I thought there were signs he had slowed down. He still looked good, still sharp, still a smart fighter, but he had slowed down. When he fought Brock Jarvis, the one thing is like he was getting caught, right? He was getting caught in exchanges. And Brock Jarvis is not like a smart, high IQ fighter. He's a guy that just sees the target and aims at it. So what it looked like was Keith Thurman was a pitcher that used to throw high 90s. He was now throwing low 90s. People were seeing it.
Hey, Ezra, just relax. Go get some water. Go get your charger.
Hold on.
And come back.
I think we can't pretend that Pandora doesn't get hit. No, go get some water, please.
Please.
No, I gotta finish.
Go get your water.
Reset button.
Once I'm on a roll, you can't stop it. Now,
I can.
Your phone can.
You see the fastball. People are seeing the fastball. They're seeing the timing. He got hit in the Brock Jarvis fight, right? Brock Jarvis just didn't have anything to make him really pay for it. It wasn't really of consequence, but he got hit in that fight. He's not as fast with his feet anymore. We know that Keith Thurman likes to use his feet. He likes to be in and out. He likes to use his timing. In this fight, at his best, at his freshest, first 4 rounds, I think that's the best we're going to see of him. I still think that Fundora is better than him. I still think that Fundora will win that battle with him. Now, I think that Keith Thurman's mentality in this fight is probably going to be have to bite down, stay on the inside, and look to exchange, look to get to him, not stay on the outside because you're going to start getting an avalanche to roll on you as the fight goes on. I don't think second half he's going to be more successful. It's going to be a worse performance for him. He needs to do something early and change the momentum of this fight. That's where I see his opportunity. But I think Fundora right now has a timing. I think he has the distance down. I think he has his feet down for his size. I think he came all into his performance. And I think he's, like I said, the only way to describe the Tim Tszyu fight was a machine gun. I think we're going to see more of that. I don't think that we're going to see Fundora hesitate in this fight. I think he's going to get to work. And I think that you're going to have good action early, but you're going to see these shots start adding up pretty quickly. I'm taking Fundora by stoppage here. And I'm going to take Fundora by stoppage in the 6th round, 5th or 6th round. I think it's going to be a dominant performance. And I think that Keith Thurman's going to learn right away that he doesn't have it in this fight.
What would you grade this card overall?
I think this card's a B.
Okay.
I think Keith Thurman always brings an A, man.
I have this as an A card, man. Just I know the names are not all sexy, but these are very, very interesting matchups. Now I'm gonna give my breakdown for Keith Thurman, Sebastian Fundora. I need to bring out the glasses for this one. Professor Matt is in the building. Hold on.
Hold on, I want to make something clear real quick. Just me and ESPN Deportes are the first ones here. Just watch another something in common over here.
Hey, hey, babe, I would watch out. I would get your identification ready. All right, I'll be right back.
Yes. While Professor Matt breaks down this fight. Now, here's the thing, right? A lot of times we say things like, oh, this guy is washed, this guy is that, this guy is this. This other guy's in the prime of his career, right? And I agree. Keith Thurman is past his prime. He's 100% past his prime. Sebastian Fundora is in the prime of his career, right? So you would think that automatically that means that Sebastian Fundora should win. But here's my issue with that. The height that Keith Thurman is falling from and the mountain that Sebastian Fundora is climbing, they haven't met yet. To me, Sebastian Fundora is here. Keith Thurman, while he's not up here anymore, he's here, but he's still higher level than Sebastian Fundora. I keep seeing people say that Keith Thurman, hey, maybe he'll catch him and that he could knock him out like Brian Mendoza. What you guys, I think, are failing to understand is that Keith Thurman is the better boxer in this fight also. Keith Thurman is a better boxer than Sebastian Fundora. Keith Thurman can do more in the ring than Sebastian Fundora can do. And I think, and I said this as soon as the fight was announced, the things that I think at this juncture of his career is his weakness, Keith Thurman's weakness, Sebastian Fundora has not shown that he does well or does consistently. I think if Keith Thurman was in there with a dedicated body puncher, yeah, then you could say, hey, Keith Thurman's going to be in trouble. Sebastian Fundora, when has he ever been a dedicated body puncher? So for me, I think Keith Thurman, what he's going to do, and I said this from the beginning, this fight is going to be a home invasion. He's coming straight through the front door. He's not gonna step around and step around. No, he's coming straight through the front door. And he's coming for that body. He's coming with uppercuts. And then once he brings Sebastian Fundora down a little bit, he's coming with that overhand. Okay? So while everyone is doubting Keith Thurman, everyone saw Keith Thurman out at the casino last night. He's shaking hands and kissing babies. I'm not doubting Keith Thurman. I'm not doubting Keith Thurman. Okay? So my official pick in this picks contest that I am kicking Ezra's ass in, by the way.
You're like 3 points up. You're like,
yeah, what are you talking about?
That I'm kicking Ezra's ass in, by the way. My official pick is Keith Thurman by decision. I think what's going to happen is
hold on.
Thurman.
How confident are you in that pick?
Yeah, what's your confidence?
Ooh, let's wait. Gotta wait.
5. Let's go.
Okay.
5 time.
Oh my goodness. Oh, but do I pick my pick? Should I tell you
I think. Hold on. Let me finish.
He's got to give.
I think what's going to happen is Keith Thurman is going to outbox Sebastian Fundora comprehensively, especially early. And then he's going to hold on late to get a unanimous decision victory, 116 to 112.
Wow.
Initially, man, I was like right with you. I think Keith, the first 8 rounds, I think Keith's going to win 6 of them. I'm just concerned about those last 4 rounds. So I would not be
Keith, one more
surprised.
time, Thurman.
Okay,
I would
so
not
let
be
me pick.
surprised.
Obviously, I'm picking Fedora. I'm gonna pick him by stoppage, and I'm gonna throw it a 5. So this is gonna be the biggest shift in this. This might be the most pivotal moment in our competition because I'm picking a 5. I'm confident Fedora's gonna win. I'm gonna pick a 5. I got a stoppage. So this is a huge shift. This is a 10-point shift. That's what this is.
12.
Could be 11.
12-point shift.
I feel
You don't lose a point for your pick.
No, he loses 5.
That's what I'm saying. But you don't lose a point for your pick. So I would only.
You don't lose a point for the method.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for your type.
You only
how the victory
lose
goes.
points on your winner and the confidence level.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go co-main? Just get
Let's
things out of
go.
the way right now.
Yeah. How many fights of this card are we doing?
We do the whole
We're
card.
doing the whole card.
All right.
All right. I'll go. I guess I'll go first, which is but this is the point where this game kind of gets ridiculous. We kind of already decided what's going to be the determining factor tonight. But I'll go Talus. I'll go decision, and I'll give that at a. I'll do that at a 3.
I'm gonna go Teya's decision. I'm gonna give that a 5 also.
Oh wow.
For the next fight, Yoeli Hernandez versus Terrell Gausha. I'm going Yoeli Hernandez. I'm going by stoppage, and I'm a 5 on that.
I'll be the same.
Big Goog.
I'll go Goog. I'm gonna go stoppage for Goog. I'm gonna pick Goog by stoppage, and I'll take a 5 on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same for that. I think Goog by stoppage is the answer, and I'm a 5 on that also.
Let's just do the Atama fight now.
No. Because there is a gulag fight
Okay, I'm
on
fine.
the free portion.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Elijah Garcia versus Kevin Newman.
I'll go.
All right, go ahead.
I'll go Elijah Garcia. I'll pick decision, and I'll give me a 2 on that.
Oh, dude, I got you.
I am gonna go Kevin Newman
Oh wow.
by decision. Give me a 3 on that.
Wow, 5-point swing.
You know why? Just because I sent Matt an interview, he probably heard it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm confident now."
Now let's get to Moses Itama versus Jermaine Franklin. Are we both going to Itama stoppage 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to the co-feature, Ezra Taylor versus Willie Hutchinson.
Ooh, I'm not. This is one of the ones where you're gonna have a huge advantage on me on this one.
Because I actually watch boxing. Oh.
These guys are not big enough names for me to know them too well. I will go with. Well, you go first with this one.
No, we'll wait for you.
What are you talking about? I've been going first. It's your
No.
turn.
We're waiting for you. You're not piggybacking off of my pick, buddy.
This guy cheats. What are the rules here? This
We'll
guy
wait for
picks
you.
on my picks all the time. I'll go. Let me go Ezra Taylor, and let me get that at a 1 point.
Stoppage, decision.
I'll go a decision.
You went Taylor decision, 1 point on confidence level there.
What you got, Matt?
Now here's the thing. I want to take Ezra Taylor, but he trains with Malik Scott.
I didn't know that when I made that pick.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Wait, real quick. Say that again.
I said I wanted to take Ezra Taylor, but he trains with Malik Scott.
That's how I felt when you said that right now. It was a spit take. It was a spit take.
Wow. Yo, your wife is not going to be happy with you. Jesus Christ.
This is why she put him in the garage.
Exactly. But you know what? I'm going to take Ezra Taylor still. I'm going to take him by decision. And you know what? I might need the points, so I'm going to be a 5 on this one.
Oh, wow. Man.
It's one of the first times I'll get to root against my pick. I hope I'm wrong.
This is interesting. Matt said he's not very confident, but he went with a 5.
Yeah,
Strategy.
This is the thing with gamblers. They get greedy.
Hey,
They
in
get
the
greedy.
in the words of George W. Bush, it's straggity, baby, straggity.
Raggedy. Oh man.
All right, Ronnie Rios versus Brian Alvarez.
I don't want to do that one.
Bro, it's the Pro Box main event.
Yeah, you know,
All right,
it's a main
I'm
event.
only doing one fight from the Pro Box.
No, we're only doing one fight on this card. I agree with that.
Okay, I'll take. What was the other guy's name?
No. Matt you went first on the last one. Matt, you have to go first.
There you go. There you go. Huey, keep it right. Huey, keep it fair. I love it.
Viva la Raza, I'm telling you. All right, here we go.
Every week, you two are being having favoritism towards the other.
This is true. This is true.
All right, now.
And you know what? I thought that was your answer for the pick, so I had Rios written down.
Here's the thing.
Are both guys Mexican? Am I tripping? Or
there they are.
They are.
Yeah.
Now,
I just thought he was going with the old Mexican.
Alvarez has been struggling lately. Rios might be washed. This is the true gulag fight.
That's a true gulag fight. I love it.
I'm going with Brian Alvarez.
All right.
I'm going to say that he wins by decision. And I'm going to be a 4 on this one.
Okay, I'll go Alvarez. I'll say he wins by decision, but I will be a 1.
All right.
You're a coward, Ezra.
This is good strategy here.
You're a coward.
This is good strategy here.
That's why Matt's our fearful leader.
This is real good strategy.
All right. Hey, listen, man. That's all we got.
It's not all we got on tonight's fights. We got to make the people some money. Matt, we're gonna go to you first. What's your best bet for the people today?
Well, my best bet for the people today is for there to be a knockdown in Thurman versus Fundora. That's at -250 right now. I think you could put the house on that. Somebody's going down somehow, some way in that fight. Also, Yoeli Hernandez by stoppage. Big Googs by stoppage. And Yoeli Tellez versus Brian Mendoza, fight to go the distance. Yes.
What I'm feeling is Sebastian Fundora by stoppage. Let me get Hernandez by stoppage. And let me get there to be a knockdown in the Tellez Brian Mendoza fight. I don't know what the odds are on that, but that's what I would go with.
I'm working on it. You said the knockdown in which fight?
The Tellez Mendoza fight.
Let me see if I can get that here. I can't get the knockdown, but without that, it's +237. So if you had the knockdown in there, it'll probably boost up to like +5, +600.
I like that. I like that. I want to say to our listener of the year, current listener of the year, Rosebud, I've been telling you that we were going to send you the link to get on the show. I don't know if we can do that this week, but if not next week, I will guarantee that happens. My bad. I've been telling you this for like 3 weeks now. I wasn't here last week, to be fair.
What would you tell him?
We get him a link. He wanted to get a link to get on the show. Call
why can't we send him a link right now?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I'm not sure how that works.
Rosebud, by the way, they refused. They didn't want to do the round. They didn't want to pick a round of the stoppage or how it went, so that's why we're not doing that. The method of victory is used as an extra bonus point, but the confidence level is what's used to be the determining factor on who can get more or less points when they have the same picks.
Yeah, let's get Rosebud a link right now.
Can we do it?
So it's this, you guys have the link. Send it to him.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. Let's see here.
Yeah, but I saw you in the comments, Huey.
Oh, I can do it there.
Paste the link in the comments.
I've done it there before. Yeah, that's right. I didn't know. I thought you wanted to send it him directly. My bad.
Right. Yeah, paste the link in the comments. Let's get Rosebud. Let's get listener of the year, the Cream Executive Officer.
How's what?
My 100 doing? Are we up?
We lost. We went down. You didn't see that?
Yeah, no, he was on the slots while you were talking. You didn't see that?
Slots.
Yeah, but we should have 400 times we could do that.
We're down.
Well, how can we be down? What are we down? 25? 25 cents?
Down. Hey, we're down. When you hit max, you're down. It goes fast. That's Huey.
Come on, man.
We're in Las Vegas, my guy.
Sibby, to answer your question, as far as my prediction, I agree more. I'm more aligned with Ezra. I don't necessarily know that I agree with when he says it's going to go down. I don't think it ends in the first half of the fight. I think it's a little bit later than that as far as taking Keith to get broken down and stopped. I do think he gets stopped maybe in like the 9th, 10th round. We haven't seen him be a tremendous body puncher. I think he's made, I've heard him make comments throughout this weekend that, you know, he's 6'5" going at someone's body and that leaves him open. So it seems like something that he's hesitant to maybe do in this fight against someone like Keith, who is crafty, has the speed advantage, has some power as well. And maybe he's a little wary of, but I do ultimately think that Fundora is a very good inside fighter. That's where Thurman's going to have the most success, and ultimately his shots are going to mean more, and Thurman's going to get broken down and stopped late.
I love it, Huey. Great breakdown. Mike, I do have something that I want you to tell ESPN Deportes.
Yeah.
Hola, ¿qué pasó? Just do me a favor, tell him that.
I mean, I'll put him on the show if you want me to.
I would love that.
Let's see.
This is Miranda Veracruz de la Hoya Cardenal, reported to you live from ESPN Deportes.
He's gonna be stunned when he starts talking Spanish and only guy can talk to him is Matt. Just astounded right now, they're looking at the videos there that we have here.
Yeah, Matt, just asking for his prediction.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo están?
Man, bien, ¿y tú?
Todo bien aquí.
Hey.
Para ya entrar a la arena.
Sí. Fundora o Thurman, ¿quién es?
Fundora Thurman, ¿quién? Ay, es pronóstico reservado, por favor.
What translation on that?
Esa I don't know how to say in English, reservado, es like pronóstico reservado. Mira, Keith Thurman es un gran peleador, un gran peleador que puede ser fácil que noquee a Fundora, pero Fundora es un peleador que aguanta, se puede sangrar arriba del ring y también puede noquear a Thurman por ahí del 6.
Yeah, he said it's a great fight, but he's going to go with Fundora, basically.
I love it.
And then,
okay, in English, sorry for that.
He did say
Thurman's
a great fighter.
Thurman is a great fighter. Wait a second. Thurman is a great fighter because they have a long time in this sport, and he's a tough fighter. He have a punch, he can knock out. But you know, Fundora is a tough fighter because he holds in he can get all the punches in the face, and he can take out the blood of the face and the head. But you know, he never will surrender. Then I think. Also, he have the enough punch to knock out Thurman at the 6th round.
All right, man. Yeah. Hey, gracias, amigo. Tú tengas buena noche.
Gracias, mucho gusto.
Bye.
Thank you. Hey, 6th round, same as me. 6th round.
That caught me off guard. I didn't like that. I didn't like that he agreed.
6th round.
Hey, man.
Let me tell you something. Mike, I'm loving you on the ground, Mike. You know what? Mike, we need to have you at every fight, just walking around roaming, because you know what? You will cause havoc. I realize that. This guy is a dangerous man on the ground.
Ezra, I want you to address Trill's question and confirm whether it was true or false. Not question, just statement. Okay. Ezra is lost.
You know what? I heard Rapido, so I knew like he was saying that Thurman fast. You know, Thurman was fast guy. I heard Rapido, but beyond that point, I was a little bit. I didn't. Really know
he did a great. He did a great job translating himself. So I don't.
Yeah, that was great. That was fantastic. That guy's a true professional. I love it. I love it.
He had asked me, "You want me to do it in English?" I was like, "No, they understand Spanish."
Yeah, I was about to translate for him, and then he started doing it himself, and I was like, "Oh shit, all right."
I was just wondering who was translating the mic so he could understand what he was saying. Because I'm just saying, last time we did this, Mike said, "I'm not quite sure."
Hey, you have not done my interviews in Spanish I did this weekend.
Oh, you did some interviews in Spanish?
I had to get my credit back up. I had to get the credit back
he
up.
asked Thurman a question in Spanish, or not Thurman, Fundora, and Fundora disappointed and answered in English.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, see, Brian
He might
Mendoza, he did those
Fandora might be NHE.
No, no,
No, he
I've
speaks
seen him do.
perfect,
I've
good
seen him
English,
do Spanish.
Spanish.
He speaks Spanish. He knows. He
So
knew.
he just disrespected Mike. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
All
I
right.
thought he was. I thought he was part of a certain
You
group.
know
I'm
what?
not going to say that.
Can I tell you? He might know the show, and he said, "I want Ezra to hear this one." That's what probably might be what it was. He was like, "I want to make sure Ezra knows what I'm talking about this one."
All right,
that was
man.
great. That was great. Thank you
and he
to
was,
Deportes for doing that. That was awesome. That was. Really
and he
cool.
was. He did say 5 or 6 Ezra for the knockout.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe it was for you. Maybe Pandora was like, "Oh yeah, Ezra's going to listen to this, so let me."
See.
It still drives me crazy that they asked for you out here because I'm like, dude, come on. I want to tell him like he doesn't even like you guys. Like,
This is true. This
I'll
is
find
true.
out next one. Next one,
Hey.
I'll find out.
Hey, listen, I can't wait for the fights tonight. Mike, Huey, enjoy the festivities. I want to thank KB, Kenneth Bouhairie from PBC for joining us to give us a full preview of tonight's fight between Sebastian Fedora and Keith Thurman. I want to thank all the Brunch Boxing listeners. Shout out to you guys. We are nothing without you. Thank you for supporting the platform. We will be back tonight with the post-fight edition of Brunch Boxing immediately following the final bell between Sebastian Fedora and Keith Thurman.
Can I say something real quick? What other show are you going to start off with KB and end with ESPN Deportes? I'm just going to say, what other show's doing that? I'm just telling you that right now. You're not going to.
Yeah, Mike, find out that guy's name so we could tag him and post. I want to clip that video.
That was fantastic. It was great.
Also,
KB was fantastic. He was great.
I've been telling Matt, Brunch Boxing Espanol is coming soon.
I wanted to bring up this comment from Sibi in the chat earlier. DB3 April 4th card postponed. What do you hear about that?
No thoughts. Tonight is about Fedora versus Thurman. We will have a midweek show where we will touch on all of boxing's topics.
And it feels great to be back. Oh, it feels good to be back. I got to have a background. Next week, we got to have a background behind me, but it just feels great to be back.
I didn't even know you were on.
All right. And you guys can support the Brunch Boxing team through the website, www.brunchboxing.com. Also at Brunch Boxing on Twitter, at Brunch Boxing Pod on YouTube, at Brunch Boxing on Instagram. And you guys know you can always hit the Cash App. I'm not above ask. Listen. I know Mike Coppinger said to Luke Thomas, "Hey, you asking people to support you with money." Yeah, well, I am too, guys. If it's good enough for Luke Thomas, it's good enough for me. Hit that Cash App, $ is that your face, support independent platforms. And I do have a quick announcement to make before we get off the show. I have officially joined Boxing Social as a contributor. I will be writing and producing content for the Boxing Social website. But that does not mean that you will not get all of me pause for Brunch Boxing, because Brunch Boxing is still here to stay, but you will see some of my work on Boxing Social. We signed on the dotted lines yesterday and made it official yesterday. So I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Boxing Social kind of sounds like a dating app for people that like boxing.
Hey now.
Ezra, go ahead and shoot that 100 of Matt's Cash App that we just lost.
But you got.
I gotta go somewhere. It's gotta go somewhere.
380 quarters left.
Hey, you heard him. I will send you the link to my Cash App right now, Ezra, and I will show Mike the proof that you sent it. All right, but this has been another edition of Brunch Boxing. He is our COO, the Mexican Al Heyman, Mike, boots on the ground in Vegas. He is our super producer, the master marionette himself, Huey P, boots on the ground in Vegas. He is our host, Ezra Boxing, in parts unknown. I am Matt. We are Brunch Boxing, and we are out.